Okay, to start the project that I'm making today, I have a 10-inch wreath frame. I'm also using this 5-count mesh grid that I put the wreath frame on, set it down, took my marker, and I traced on this, on the inside, attached it with zip ties, and that's what I'm using to support my middle petals. I'm going to be making a pinwheel flower today, and the way that I do that, you set my wreath aside so I can show you how I make my petals. Take my wood burner, go to my 10-inch mark, holding on to the deco mesh. It's a good idea to wear a mask if you're doing this. It does have fumes. Okay, I have my 10-inch piece. Now the way I'm making my pinwheel petals is kind of like the Red petal, but not exactly. I want to line my edges up. First of all, you want your manufactured side to be on the top and the bottom. Then I turn my manufactured side to my right so that I have a diamond shape. Bring it up so that they meet together the best that you can. It doesn't have to be perfect because they're going to be sealed together anyway. Then what I do is I scrunch all the way down, pull my mesh up. So therefore now we do have a Red petal, but it's not going to look like that in the end. So then I take my clothespin, clamp it together. I'm going to cut these two apart. Before I do that though, I have to have the ends of it, or the beginning of it, tied with a zip tie so that it doesn't fall apart. And you want to make it like this so that your petals will be equal in size. And a good way that you can do that is to pull your petals up and make sure that they're the same height on the top. And I take another zip tie and do the same to this side. I hope you guys can see well enough. Now I take off the clothespin and I have this. So I'm going to cut the zip ties off. Cut these apart. Should have brought my little container in here to put my zip tie stems in. Okay, now what I do differently, I have this petal. One side of it is open, the other side is the manufactured edge. I'm going to seal both sides of this together. Lay it down on my cutting board, get my point of my petal, because this is going to be my pinwheel petal. Now I take my wood burner and seal that together. And let me know if you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'll show you what it looks like in the end. All the way around. You're just going to the outside of the manufactured edge so that your petal is sealed together. And I like to make sure that my top comes to a point. And there we have my pinwheel petal. Let's do this one. And open it up. That side's the unfinished side, the raw side. This is the manufactured side. Lay it down. Bring my petal to a point the best that I can. Pulling the edge that's not manufactured out from underneath the one that is. Take my wood burner again. And I'm really concentrated on the point, because I want my pinwheel petals to be pointy and facing the same direction. And this again is my pinwheel petal. Okay, I use blue. I also use this basic deco mesh. I'm going to show you with this. Do it one more time. And then I'll show you the petals that I've already made. So I have my wood burner. I laid my mesh out on my cutting board. Go to this line. I've lined up this edge with the marker line. Go to this side. Cut the deco mesh. Again, making sure that the manufactured side is on the top and the bottom. Turn it to my right. Bring the bottom up. When I turn it to my right, I have a diamond shape in front of me. Bring the bottom up to the top to create the top of our petal. Okay, so I'm right here. Now you could turn it like this and go up. But for some reason, I just find it easier to do it this way. So I just start scrunching and work my way to the point. Bring it up, and I start out with a Wreath petal. Get my clothespin, pin it together. Okay, lay it down on here. Now I need to put a zip tie on both sides. Or you also could just cut this off. I'll show you. I have these rubber bands from the Dollar Tree. If you don't have a lot of zip ties, like me, I've got them coming out my ears pretty much. You can take your petal, hold on to it, cut it off, squeeze it together. These little rubber bands I got from the Dollar Tree. You're not going to be able to see the rubber band, so it really doesn't matter what color it is. Wrap it around here. Lay it down. All the way around. If you just rub your wood burner along the side, it's going to seal it together. But you want to try to get as close as you can to the manufactured side so that it does do that. So here I have another pinwheel petal. And I've already made up a bunch of them, so you guys didn't have to sit and watch me seal together every petal that I've made. So here I have another pinwheel flower petal. Okay, I'm going to grab my wreath frame back over here. I'm going to start out with the blue petals, because I'm going to be like trying to make the sky. And what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to start on row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to start on this bracket. Take my zip tie. Sometimes I like to take the zip ties and put them on so I can just slip the petal in there. I think I'll go ahead and do that for this one. So I'm just going to load up. Well, I didn't put that one on there right. Hold on just a second. We start with this outer one. Okay. I'm going to go to the next bracket and put a zip tie on. And I think I'm going to be placing 3 petals between each bracket. So I'll go ahead and get those on. That way you don't have to really mess with the zip ties if you just tie them around the frame before you even start. Okay, here's my petal. And since I'm starting on the outside bar, which I call bar 1. Put the petal in there, holding it as straight as you can, and zip up your zip tie. So you end up with your petal on the very first rail and cross section. Now I'm going to take the next one and go to the next crossbar, put it in, tighten it up. Okay, I have one on already. Grab another petal. Now I'm going to have these slightly overlapping, just like this. Let's see how many I decide to put in the center between the two cross brackets. Now I want to show you guys something. If your petal is crooked like that and you want to make it go out and you've already got one zip tie on there, just go the other direction with your zip tie and it will straighten it right up. That way you have some balance on both sides. You have to make it do what you want it to do. Okay, that's straightened it out a lot. I'm going to be putting 4 in between the brackets. One will be on the bracket. There will be 4 between. So I already have 1 on there. 2. Grab the zip tie. It just makes it easier so you're not trying to fumble with the zip tie while you're holding your petal and everything else. So 3, and I have one more zip tie that I've already placed on my frame. You want all of your pinwheel petals to go in the same direction so that when you get done it resembles a pinwheel. I'm working on my sky right now. So here's what we have so far. I've got 1 on each bracket and 4 in the middle. I'm using 4-inch zip ties. You can use any kind of zip ties you're comfortable using. And it just makes it a lot simpler so that you're not trying to fumble with your petals, whatever kind of wreath you're making, and put the zip tie on at the same time. And it is best to use zip ties because you can slide them on the bar to get your petals the same distance apart. I'll finish up this section and then I'm going to go on and then I'll meet you back to start our next color after I get these on. So I have 1 on the crossbar, 1, 2. I like to cut these so they're not in your way when you're trying to understand what I'm doing. Crossbar, 1, 2. Take it. This is our 4th one in between the brackets. Like I said, in the end, I'll go around and make sure all of them are overlapping the same. Just do the best I can right now while like this. Okay, crossbar, 1, 2, 3, 4. Spread them out just a tad bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to put 1 on the crossbar. So we're just going to keep on doing that. Putting it on your crossbar. See, if I would have put the zip tie on first, this wouldn't be so difficult. There. Now it's going to mind. Okay. Got that on the crossbar. Cut the zip ties off. So there we have 2 sections finished. I'm going to go ahead and complete the outside section with the blue Pinwheel petals. And I will meet you back when I get done. Okay, you guys, I have all of the dark blue petals placed on the outside bar, bar 1. This wreath has 5 sections. It's a 10-inch wreath frame. I have a total of, let me see, 25 petals. 1 on each crossbar and 4 in between. Brings me to 25 petals on bar 1. Now I went ahead and started loading the zip ties on bar 2. We're going to be using this bar. These will stand up in the end when I put a back on it. Okay, this is bar 2. The next bar up. I've got 1 on each cross section. And now I'm only going to be putting 3 petals in between. And I'm going to start on the light blue. I'm still working on the sky. So I want for my petals to go the same direction. So I start on this second bar. Start out on the crossbar. Pull it to that second bar. Now, the next one. Place it in there. Let me know if you guys find it easier to put your zip ties on first. Or is it just me? And you guys, if you like this kind of content and you like my videos, please consider subscribing. I am working to get to 10,000 subscribers. And I'm very excited. So if you would, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time I go live or upload a video. Now I'm back to the crossbar. My petal on there. And zip it up. So again, I've got 1 on both crossbars with the light blue and 3 in between this time. And when we did the dark blue, I put 4 in between the crossbars. So cut these off. And like I said, in the very end, I go around and make sure that everything's laying the right way. Okay, I've got it on this crossbar. I went ahead and put 1, 2, 3 in between and back to the crossbar. So I'll go ahead and load these up real quick before I continue on around. Working on bar number 2 and back to the crossbar. Okay, I'm going to try to straighten these up a bit. I'm going to continue going all the rest of the way around with the light blue part of our sky. And I will meet you when I get done. See you in just a bit. Okay, you guys, I'm back. And I finished the blue, or the light blue part of the sky that I'm making. We did all of the light blue on bar 2. 1 on each of the brackets and 3 in between. And this is what we came up with. And again, like I said, in the end, I'll make sure everything is, you know, well balanced and everything. So I know that drives some people crazy. So let's see. Okay, so we did bar 1, bar 2. Now we're going to start working on bar 3. On bar 3, we're going to put 1 on all of the brackets and 3 in between as well. just like the blue. So we ended up with 20 light blue petals, 25 dark blue petals. And I'll have this down in the description, you know, in case you guys don't remember or whatever, and I'll make sure that I, you know, put that, all the count of all the petals down in the description. I get my mesh from my wholesaler, but you can get mesh like this from craftoutlet.com or Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any of your local craft stores will have it. But I'm going to introduce the red into our sky now, because the sunset is a lot of different colors. So now I'm going to be working on the red part. Start row 3 bar. Start in the bracket. Go to the next bracket. I tried to find orange mesh, but we are so close to Halloween and fall that I've used a lot of my orange mesh making deco mesh wreaths, because that's what I do, and I thought the red looked just as pretty. Okay, so we're going to put one on both brackets on bar number 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're also going to put 3 in between these with the red. I went ahead and put the zip ties on the frame. And guys, I'm also going to be making a sunset yardstick cross like I have my other ones. I try to make one for every season. So please check that out when it comes up. That should be very soon. These zip ties cut off. And since we're going ahead and putting 3 in between the sections, if I can talk, we will also end up with 20 red petals. Just got to move these little things the way you want them to sit. Okay, brackets, 1, 2, 3. We have 5 sections on the form. I'm going to continue to go around with the red petals, and I will meet you back. Okay, you guys, before I go any farther and explain the wreath in the middle to you, I made this middle for our sunset wreath. I think I'm going to call it the Indiana Harvest Sunset. Actually, what I did was I just got a styrofoam ball, cut it in half. I went ahead and spray painted it yellow, and I didn't like that. So I got these pom-poms. I've had them for a long time. I bought these at Hobby Lobby, but they also have them at the Dollar Tree. And I just simply hot glued them on all over the half ball. And my ball is 3 inches. 3 inches across, or maybe 4, let me see. Yeah, it's 4 inches in diameter. Then I just put the cotton balls on there, pom-poms since they're colored. And that's going to be the center of the wreath. So let's go ahead and get the bottom of it ready. And how I do that is take a pipe cleaner. I've got these U-pens. They're a lot longer when you buy them. Excuse me. And I just cut the ends of them off so they wouldn't be so long. They didn't need to be that long. So take a pipe cleaner, fold it in half, put the U-pen on it. I like to use 2. Or, you know, these are called greening pins as well, or U-pens. Again, I'll use 2 pipe cleaners. Put the next one on. And then our final one, I put 2 of them on each pipe cleaner. And then I take this little piece of felt, move these out of my way, put hot glue on here. I like to put the hot glue after I get the stuff in there instead of trying to put it on before so I don't burn my fingers. Take this, lay it over very gently so you don't get burnt. Okay, I'm going to let this set up while we finish the last 2 rows of the flower. I'm really loving the way it's turning out so far. Okay, you guys, I have completed the middle, which is the burnt orange that I have. Now we're going to introduce the bright yellow. I want to put 1 row of bright yellow around the middle before we add the center, this brighter yellow color. And I'm going to put that right in front of these petals that I've got down. And what I did was just follow the line. And I can see the line that I had drawn in the very middle still. So I will just follow that and complete the center. We'll put our center on and tie it on the back and go from there. So I will finish up and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, I've completed my final row of pinwheel petals. Now I'm just going to add the center. I'm just going to take the pipe cleaners and place them down in the grid. If I can hold on to it. Let's see how I want this. I like working with pipe cleaners better than I do wire, even though a pipe cleaner is just wire covered. It's just not as hard on your hands. Stick those through there. Flip it over and make sure it's in the middle. Tie it down. And I'd say that's pretty centered. Get it tied on there. And to do that, I just simply take the pipe cleaners, twist it around. I will be putting a back on this wreath, a backing. I'll cut these off here in just a minute. Make sure they're super tight. And I'll be able to push them back through. Make sure one more time it's in the center. Oh, it's a little off. One of my pom-poms fell off. Fix that. Okay, this is the completion of my Indiana Harvest Sunset Wreath. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, like and share my video. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Check me out on other forms of social media, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.